Welcome to Oshkosh, a predominantly white mid-sized city in northeastern Wisconsin. Like many other Midwestern cities, Oshkosh has a history of sundown town characteristics. According to the 2010 census, African Americans make up roughly 13% of the total U.S. population, whereas only 3% of the Oshkosh population is African American.
This is not a town for shaking things up.
Oshkosh was a very, very territorial city. We had primarily Germans, people immigrated from Germany, Russia, and Irish people. Mixed a different race into that equation that just elevated the level of people infringing on my territory.
For sure, even if it was not officially a sundowner town or city, and that is to say one where blacks and other people of color were supposed to be out of town by sundown and not to imagine that they were welcome to stay and establish their homes, their families, their businesses here.
And I haven't heard that term for quite some time, which in my opinion I think kids should always learn from the past, but I think not hearing that term in and of itself is probably a good thing.
It may have not been the kind of virulent racism that you might have experienced in some other places, but I think the atmosphere and the environment was such that they did not feel welcomed, and so they did not stay.
It used to be pretty bad here as far as whites wanting blacks to be mixed in this community.
I think overall Oshkosh has had the same situation as most other cities, that during the civil rights movement of the 50s, 60s, and 70s, Oshkosh certainly was not a leader in moving forward with movements to integrate and so on. And then when the laws changed, Oshkosh, just like most other cities, did not become more integrated. On the UW-Oshkosh campus, the high or low point of that, depending on your point of view, would have been the late 60s and the Black Thursday movement.
On November 21st, 1968, 94 African American students attending Wisconsin State University at Oshkosh participated in a sit-in upon which they presented a list of demands including the proposal of an African American Studies program. Resulting in the arrest and expulsion of all 94 students, Black Thursday was the most significant crisis in race relations to ever hit the region.
From what I've seen, I think they're really good. The reality is, in today's age, whether you live in Oshkosh, Wisconsin, or anywhere in the United States, we live in a global economy, and you can no longer afford to have these racist views with people. Like if you're employing someone, obviously it's against the law to begin with, but you really need to hire and recruit the best and most talented people for jobs.
It's pretty rocky, I would say. I think, obviously there are some people who don't really care about what color you are or things like that. Mm-hmm. But I think in Oshkosh there's quite a few people who do look at you with, see what color you are right away before they know who you are.
Most of the black people that are here are from different cities and states, so we already stereotyped. It's already like, all these guys are going to mess up our community. But people don't understand that we're forced to do a lot of things back where we're from. Not even forced, but it's just we fall into it because that's what goes on in our community.
It's not very integrated here. Asians were in their own group, blacks were in their own group, whites were in their own group.
The African American male students over the years have told me things like they get followed by police. Some have told me that the police know their names and they don't know how.
Mr. Thompson, we stopping you because you have air freshener hanging from your window.
Yeah,
obstructing the view.
I've been pulled over for that a couple times.
And I pointed out to him, look at that one, and he wasn't happy.
We got pulled over. My wife was driving, and I was in the passenger seat, obviously. And the cop was talking to her, and then instantly, he sees that I feel that he saw that I was black, and he decided he wants to flash a flashlight in there and, well, who are you? Well, what are you doing? Well, everything okay? You know, just things like that.
Case of a student who was, the police officer said, well, you may not be the one I'm looking for, but you look like that other one, and therefore we're going to assume that you might be doing something suspect because that one you look like did something suspect. And it's that kind of thing, you know, so there's no sense of being considered even temporarily while you're a student as a welcomed person in this community.
They still don't even talk to me after 3 years. And I don't do nothing wrong besides have nice barbecues. Like what, me saying hello and they keep driving. That's funny. Some days you get, I guess, in their mood and say, hey, how you doing? But most times when I say, hey, wave or something like that, they gone. I don't know if they fear that something may happen to them because of that myth or what's going on with them. I don't know. I try to conversate with them because I get along with everybody.
Before the lady passed over there, she's a very nice lady. Her grandkids would always come over. Everybody in the neighborhood was really nice.
I don't see anybody, and I haven't heard anybody saying, oh, I'm moving out because of this or that as far as the mix. But then I know that there are other neighbors who are white who absolutely will not interact.
I've not seen any that I know of African Americans apply for our boards and commissions or run for city council.
Man, people were more focused on paying rent, making the next rent day, more than the politics and stuff the other stuff that's going on, man. We working double hard to live average, man, out here.
In cities like Oshkosh, if you want to attract people of color to work here, you have to have an active recruitment to do that. And Oshkosh has never had that. Oh, and by the way, we shouldn't let the businesses off the hook either. Big businesses in Oshkosh have done very, very little to get out the word that they're trying to diversify their upper management staff.
I worked at Metallist Laser Fab. That's a company they do metal fab work for Oshkosh Truck. They train me on the other things and stuff like that. And then I moved up. My pay still never reached the same as those guys there. And I did have to work extra hard, to fit in.
If people want to hold on to those racist views or sexist views, whatever they may be, it doesn't bode well for the city of Oshkosh. I mean, it gives us a bad name, and we don't produce the quality products that we need to produce to remain competitive in today's society.
When I talk to someone, I say, yeah, I own my own house and I work at Mill Print. I've been there for 7 years. Oh, really? Good for you. It's like, good for me as in, I shouldn't have this type of thing.
This is America, and it is a multiracial, multicultural place. So it's not unheard of that a black person might show up in your business.
It was
Walgreens, we have 2 or 3 shelves.
You don't have that.
Here's your African American products right here. That's it.
I should be treated with the same kind of customer service of making it feel normalized and naturalized to walk into a hair salon and ask to get my hair done. People seeming like, how dare you inconvenience us or embarrass us by presenting this issue in our business. Where are you from that you have to come here and disrupt what is our norm?
I think it's an ongoing process. I don't want someone to take this wrong, but as the people that have lived with racism all their life, they're dying off. They've been entrenched with racism. The African Americans or any minorities need to take it upon themselves to be more proactive and to realize that I think these barriers have been broken down.
If that's the position we take, then it's probably going to be many years before we see any real change.
No, I'm not really optimistic of it at all. It'd be nice if you had like one black cop or something like that.
At some point, you have to have people of color, women in positions of power.
A black administrator or somebody in the school would help the kids probably to feel more comfortable.
Get people involved and bring them in and make them feel welcome. Then you have to think about the ways that can occur. You know, you meet them at their churches, you meet them at their barbershops, where you say, you know, we want to invite people who have never been hanging out with us before to come and join us. We're going to play a variety of music, we're going to provide child care, you know, you use inclusive language. I would like this community to see change, but also to recognize what it currently is. There's a lot of ignorance about race. Most of it, I would generously say, is simple innocence. They don't know. They haven't been told American history in an inclusive way, a well-rounded way. They haven't experienced a relationship with a person of another color or ethnicity or background or whatever, difference that they might call difference. So they don't understand yet the fullness of the human race, so that they understand these people are just people.